Tina Williams, and a surprise guest. That's all right. I was concentrating.
The Mystery Renaissance Man is Jason Fladland, coming to you loud and clear from Coralville, Iowa. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. I was worried, woke up with a sore throat this morning, but it's fine now, so I'm ready to talk.
All right, awesome. Well, we got hundreds joining the call, and you guys, congratulations for you for getting on. This is like we're 1 week into the challenge, and we still have such a huge participation rate. Totally stoked about that, and you are successful. And we're going to give away, before we fully get started, just a little teaser for you, because you got to stay on. By the end of this call, we're going to give away a $200 value gift, Beats by Dr. Dre, this really random Jason drive-by. All right, Jason, I'll let you and Tina kind of take it away. I'll pipe in every once in a while, too, but I'm ready to take tons of notes on reach them, convert them, and keep them.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me yet again. And if you notice that today's PowerPoint presentation isn't graphically, aesthetically pleasing and it's just plain old text, the reason for that is because I waited as long as possible before writing this brand new presentation, because I went through the social media challenge content thus far and also talked and worked with Maria and Tina about what they were going to cover in the coming days, so that way I could sculpt my content, if you will, to fall exactly right in line with that. So I went light on the graphical time because I wanted to make sure to focus it all on the content for this one, since I was literally working on this presentation all weekend to get it ready for today. So that's the word on that one. And this will definitely be recorded and posted into the members area. In fact, I don't see him on here. Maria, maybe he's just, maybe we got to upgrade Dave. But let me make sure Dave's here as well. Scrolling through the 712 names thus far. He Skyped me right before I said he was going to be here, just to make sure he records on our end. I do not. Oh, there he is. There's Dave. So, Dave, I'm going to make you an organizer real quick, just to make sure that the girls are recording it, obviously, but we just are doubly sure. So Dave, if you could send a message to organizers and panelists only confirming to me that you're ready to record, that would be absolutely wonderful. And then we'll jump on and get started and go crazy with this. Okay, Dave, you there, buddy? And actually,
I haven't seen him yet.
His audio is muted, so let me just send him a message. Dave, can you confirm? Okay, got it. Cool. All right, let's go. So reach them, convert them, and keep them. I'm going to show you a lot of different really cool social media strategies that are going to make you more money if you use them. As simple as that. Here's our agenda specifically for this webinar training today. The first part, we're going to talk about different strategies you can use with your social media tools and techniques to reach your audience. Basically, how are we going to reach our message, get our message to our audience and convert them, okay? Before we know how to convert them, we have to know what we are converting them to. So what is our ideal outcome, and how will we get the highest percentage of our audience to perform it? Notice I didn't say conversion necessarily equals a sale. I think people who focus just on conversion equals somebody buying something is missing the larger picture, specifically when it comes to social media marketing, because sometimes the best thing that you can do for a conversion principle is to get them to share it with somebody else. And it's going to be a big part of our strategy. And sometimes the conversion is to get them to follow you, to get them to join your group, to get them to join your text message list, to get them to repin something or pin something on Pinterest, et cetera, okay? And finally, we're going to talk about keeping them. So how will we quickly become their trusted advisor so they can continue to reference us before making key decisions? You'll notice a lot of people, and maybe you've experienced this yourself, or maybe you will experience this. In the beginning, when it comes to building your social media platform and your empire, so to speak, it's slow, right? It's like, yeah, I get some exposure, get a little bit of exposure, get a little bit of exposure, and I do all this front-end work, though, but eventually, for anybody who keeps doing it, there's this tipping point where pretty soon it's like the momentum picks up and becomes so huge that you do less and less and get more and more results with each passing month. And that's the keeping them. And that's the one, in my opinion, the most important factor of all, because once you keep them, now you have to do less work to convert them, and you definitely have to do less work to reach them. And it becomes so much more focused on just providing value to your current audience than it does on anything else, which allows you to give them a better experience and allows you to make more money. So let's start with a reach them strategy. QR codes, which I know really haven't been talked a lot yet, and I think they'll be talked about more in the upcoming days in the social media challenge. But basically what a QR code is, it stands for quick response code. Or you might have also heard of it as a 2D barcode. And the way that this works is it requires a smartphone with an app installed, some sort of app that will allow the phone to read or scan a QR code. And so if you have your if you have your phone on you right now and you want to boot up your QR reader, you could do so, and you could scan that code, and that's a fully functional QR code that I created right before this call, and it would actually perform an action to you. All right? So I could reach out to you with this QR code, and then I could convert you if you scan this QR code. And if you did scan this QR code, now this one works just in the United States, this particular one, this would add you to a text messaging list of ours. Not that we're going to use anything. It's just specifically for demonstration purposes. I'll delete the list after this call. But it's just a demonstration to you that the QR code I can use to reach you, you scan it, will convert you, and hopefully I'll keep you, if I was actually doing this, on a text message list. However, QR codes can be tied to lots of different actions. So for example, if somebody scans a QR code, you might not necessarily add them to a text message list, but you might just add them to a text message, send them a text message, right? So for example, when would that come in handy? Somebody go ahead and type in a response. When would it come in handy where you have a QR code that does nothing more than if somebody scans it, just sends them a one-off text message? These work really good at marketing events. And they also work networking events. These will, yeah, I love these answers. They look really good for coupons. They work really good for surveys. Okay. They look really good if you're just going to text them, hey, how are you? How you doing? And here's, because what happens is when somebody texts it or scans it and they get the message, they also get the phone number. And I will demonstrate it to you thus, just like this. Let me use, there's so many QR code creator tools out there, and we can talk about best practices in a little bit. Here's the one that we use. And so if I was to send you a text, to create a text one, you're not going to get my phone number in this case. However, if I was to send you an email, you could actually scan a QR code, and it would create an email. Okay? So I could say something like, put my email address and say, you know, you're cool. Thanks for scanning. Email me if you need anything else. Okay, and we could generate this QR code. Now if you scan this QR code here, what would happen would be you would get an email from me. And how would I know what email to email you to? How would this know? Typically, it's the default email that you've put into your phone. So what happens is when you send me, when you hit this email and it pops it up, either I'm going to get it because you're going to have to send this email to me after you scan. If you scan this, it pops up the email on your phone and you hit send, and I get your email that way, right? Or in some instances, depending on your phone, it will automatically just do it for you because you have been connected. You've connected your email client with your phone. And I think 99% of people have their email client connected with their phone. Just to give you an example, my Android, I have my email connected to that so I can check it on my phone. I also have 2 iPod Touches, both connected to my email, and I have 3 iPads, and they're all connected to my email. Here's another one, a telephone. So in this case, if I put in a phone number here, and then we generated the QR code, if you scan this, depending on the phone that you have, it would either directly launch and call this number that I just entered in on the left here, or it would pre-fill it, and then you could either hit send, or you could hit text message to send it a text message. Yeah, and people are wondering why I have 3 iPads. It's because I got iPad 1, then iPad 2 came out, had to get that, then iPad 3 came out, I had to get that, of course. Okay, here's another one. So a URL, for example, I could say, well, let's say, you know, we put together this incredible deal over here for everybody at the Ultimate Social Challenge Special, and I could literally take that and put that in the URL and click Generate QR Code. All right? Now what happens is if somebody scans this on their phone or their smart, any device that can read a QR code, they'll be directed, it'll open up a browser window, the default browser, and take you directly to this URL. There's also what's called a vCard. These are really cool, especially with iPhones and other more sophisticated smartphones, to where somebody scans this, and I put in my contact information here. You know, my title could be Big Cheese, right? And we would put this in here. And we could put an email in here and all this stuff. And what would happen would be if I filled out even the rest of these and generated this QR code, if you scan this, most phones support this, not all, but most of them support this, to where it would automatically add me to your contact list. And it would automatically put in all of this information. Okay? And with SMS, this is a case where if I wanted to send somebody a text message, and then they would have my phone number attached to the text message as well. All right? Location. You can get a Google latitude, longitudinal location, or you could even enter in the location of like a business, for example. And then we could say, okay, let's enter in this location here of Rapid Crushing headquarters and generate the QR code. And if you scan this, depending again on what phone you have, but whatever phone that you would have would allow you to then pop up GPS directions even potentially, or just plain old regular directions. All right? Bookmark. You could have people bookmark something automatically if they scanned a QR code on their phone. Here's something that I know people do with coffee shops. Yeah.
Hey, Jason, sorry to interrupt you. There's a lot of questions that came in. I normally wouldn't do this, but so many people are confused with this part. What's the difference between a V card and a me card? There's a pouring of questions about that one.
Just a me card has these kind of details, and a V card has these kind of details. You know, I don't really even know the difference, Maria. I'm sure Google could solve it for us very quickly. I just use the V card because I find.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
sure.
I find more phones use a V card. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I
awesome.
don't,
all right,
honestly, I have no idea what's the difference. I've never used a me card. It's just part of the software that we have. Good question, though. I bet somebody in the audience knows the answer.
I bet you they would. I'm looking. Me card has less info, like just name, phone, email. TR says that's pretty funny. Yeah. And everyone, you guys scan this QR code with your phone. A lot of people are asking, well, how do you scan in that QR code thingamajiggy? That's what a lot of people are asking too.
Yeah, that's a great question as well. And so, how do you scan a QR code? I'll just show you how do you scan a QR code. We'll just Google it, and I wish I could show you like a simple one-size-fits-all, but it depends on what kind of phone you have. All right, and so it depends on if I have an iPhone, there's different apps available to me than if I have an Android. And if I have a BlackBerry, there are still different apps. Like, for example, Maria, what's the app that you use to scan QR codes?
Let me pull up my iPhone right now. And actually, everyone in the members area, we'll give you a lovely video that Isabel did in front of C's Candies in the mall in California, where she actually showed you how to do it. My app right now is a free app called QR Reader. That's the app on my iPhone that I use to scan
QR Reader is a good one. That works with a lot of different ones. So QR Reader works for iPhones, iPod Touch generation, 4th generation. It works for iPads as well. This one is free, I believe. And basically what happens is you open up the app in iPhone, for example, and then what you'll do is it'll access your camera. So then you center it on the QR code, and like you see here, and then you click the Zap button, and then what it'll do is do whatever is associated to that QR code. Does that make sense for everybody? Does everybody understand that?
Yeah, they do, and a lot of people have their preferences of QR code readers, but and if you're still confused, trust me, there's like a 5-minute video put up, and then you get to see the lovely Isabel in front of See's Candies in the Los Angeles Mall.
And make sure when you watch that video, watch where it goes. That'll be a little test for all of you guys. We'll ask that question tomorrow when we put it up. Where does the QR code go? Because it was very significant in what we did in the mobile challenge. So.
Yeah, one more thing I believe with the V-card, me-cards I didn't want to get into necessarily, but I guess I will, is see how much more pixels there are here with this one than a regular QR code. Some old QR readers have a little bit extra, they can't read this much data, you know, and so some people prefer a me-card because it has less data. I believe that's the predominant difference, but don't quote me on that. Finally here, let me just go through the last one, then we can answer a few more QR code questions, and then we'll move on. Wi-Fi, for example, coffee shops. Have you ever noticed, like, you know, we have free Wi-Fi, and you're like, okay, I want to connect, and they write it down each time and they hand it to you, you know? You could actually have a QR code generated with the SSID and the password, and you could create a QR code and people could scan it, and that would automatically connect them to a business's Wi-Fi. So there are a couple other functions that you could do with QR codes. These are the main ones. And frankly, 90% of the time, I either have them scan it, a URL, right? So when they scan it, they go to a website, or I have them scan a text message, and then for the telephone, I'll just put in whatever my text message list provider is, and the message it here, so when they scan it, they're automatically subscribed to my text messaging list. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Those are predominantly the two main ones that I use, are URL and SMS for a QR code. All right. But basically, again, you need a smartphone or you need some sort of mobile device that has a camera and can install a QR reader. So you can just Google QR reader, and then it'll tell you which QR readers go to which devices. And then you can tie actions to when people scan these QR codes. So that's the strategy. So now let's talk about strategy. That's the technical stuff. Let's talk a little bit about strategy. Let's look at Facebook, for example. So here's a source in Facebook. Your cover image, your big old thing that they put on the timelines now, cover images must be at least 399 pixels wide and may not contain price or purchase information such as 40% off or downloaded on our website. So let's go to Healthy Teresa, okay? And Healthy Teresa, this is right here, is her cover image, right? Heart, body, mind, Healthy Teresa, live your life from the inside out. Notice that there is no, there's no price or purchase information, such as 40% off or download at our website. There's no contact information, such as a web address, email, mailing address, or other information. There's no reference to user interface elements, such as like or share or any other Facebook site features. There's no calls to action such as get it now or tell your friends on the cover image here. Okay? That's because, as we talked about on Friday, Facebook isn't really excited about direct marketing. They prefer branding. All right? Now let me ask you a question, Tina, and everybody else can feel free to answer. Can you put a QR code on your cover image?
Now, Jason and I have already talked about this, and I do know the answer to that, and I believe that you can.
In every single instance that we've done it, they've allowed it, okay?
Yes.
Now, I can't find
Jason, you know, let me preface this, and we had talked a little bit about this, is I belong to many mastermind groups on Facebook, and I have done research on it, and I've had my guys go to the developers forum and specifically ask this question. As of right now, directly asking Facebook, QR codes, because they are not a direct marketing, are allowed absolutely on the cover itself, because they do not consider it direct marketing. So at the time of this webinar right now, the information from Facebook is absolutely yes.
Yep, so on 7 Mayo, 7 de Mayo, 2 days after Cinco de Mayo. As of now, it's yes. And if I had to guess, it's because these other options, like 40% off download on our website, these are text. But QR code is an image. And that's what a cover image is supposed to mainly be, is images. And so QR, the downside is only people who know what a QR code is will understand it and might scan it, because you can't like directly make it massively like, scan this QR code now, you bastard, you know. You can't do that, but you could just put it there, and people who know who it is will scan it. Okay, now quick question here. Quick question.
Jason, before you ask the question, I just want to let you guys know, because I saw all of a sudden immediately people saying, well, what happens? Guys, as of right now, Facebook is only giving you warnings with your cover images and removing it. So if Facebook changes their mind on that, no worries, guys. Take action. Go ahead, Jason, question away.
Yes. Okay, so who scans QR codes? Because a lot of people don't even know what QR codes is. Hell, a lot of people on this call didn't even know what a QR code was before I showed it. Okay? Okay, people say nerds scan them. That's incorrect. That is not the predominant demographic. Okay? People who are bored scan them. I like that. That's not the predominant demographic. 18 to 34, that is not the predominant demographic. Okay? Would you believe that most kids who people think are up to date on technology, technologically savvy with QR codes, college kids are among the least amount of people to scan a QR code. Typically what we have found, I believe I read this on Marketing Sherpa, which is one of the trusted, most intelligent website reporting tools that are out there. In fact, you got to pay money to get the reports. The average person who scans a QR code has an annual income of over $100,000. Last I knew. Very good demographic, okay? So QR codes are worthwhile to use. Not a lot of people scan them. Not a lot of people know what they are even. But the average person scanning your QR code has an annual income of $100,000 or more. So I'm going to be using QR codes, and I suggest you use them as well. Now, you can use them as of now on your cover images and be totally okay without Facebook saying, hey, you have to change this. All right, so you might as well use them. Let's get even crazier with it, and I'm going to show you a lot of different ways to make money with QR codes. QR code strategy, okay? So here's another excellent strategy. Kindle books, okay? First of all, think about this. How many percentages would you guess are accessing Kindle on a mobile device? It's over 90%. Because you have to understand that the Kindle reader itself, the original ones, they're mobile devices. Those are mobile devices. Kindle was built predominantly for mobile. Then they allowed Apple to use the Kindle app, and then Kindle came out with its own Kindle Fire. Oh, by the way, I have one of those too. And that's a mobile device. So very few people actually download the computer or laptop program to read their Kindles. Right? So everybody on a Kindle device is Kindle is mobile, right? And B, now here's something else that's interesting about Kindle. They just recently implemented this thing called KDP Select, which allows you to basically rent, quote unquote, you can rent out your Kindle books for free to Prime members. So anybody who's an Amazon Prime member, and everybody should be, by the way, killer service, Prime members can rent your Kindle books for free, $0 and 0 cents. Now here's the drawback with Kindle. Kindle does not allow direct affiliate links in their ebooks. I don't know if you were aware of this, but they changed their policy a while back. So you can't monetize a Kindle ebook with a direct affiliate link or even a masked or cloaked affiliate link in your Kindle ebook. But here's an interesting question. Do they allow QR codes that redirect through affiliate links. At the time of this recording, at least,
Jason, you're funny.
they do. Will they always? Probably not. Eventually, they probably won't. Okay? But again, these medias like Facebook and Kindle, etc., they treat QR codes differently than everything else. QR code is like their love child that's, can do no wrong, right? It's like the baby. It's like the oldest child. He got the slack from the parents because they were experimenting on him because they didn't know what they were doing. The middle child was alienated because he's in the weird one, so he's weird. He's causing all kinds of problems. But the baby, the young one, is babied and it gets away with everything. That's the QR code, okay? So what you do is you put up a little tiny Kindle ebook for free via the KDP. So anybody who wants to can download it for free. And within that, you can have direct links to your websites that are not affiliate links, and I recommend you do that. You can have calls to action such as text this to this number to get this, right, with text message marketing. You can also put a QR code that takes people directly to an affiliate website. Interesting. Now suppose you've done this. What's the best way to spread the word on your Kindle ebook? Social media. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, okay? You take an image of your Kindle cover and pin it, and you recommend other people pin it. You go on Facebook and say, hey, I just published a new Kindle book. I'm so excited. And you can get it for free if you're an Amazon member. Boom. Okay? So many possibilities.
Hey, Jason, can I bother you for a second?
You're never bothering me.
Well, guess what? We actually, guys, and we should actually make a prize for this. You guys might have somewhere within that Healthy Teresa Facebook page, when you played around with some of the links there, or some of the, as you saw, we have some of our tabs set up using the amazing WP Fan Pro. If you look around carefully, you might see a QR code used exactly as Jason had just explained.
Excellent.
Yes, so why don't we do this? If you guys want a $25 gift card to Amazon, so you can go find some more QR codes, and I'm going to watch the chat for anybody who actually finds that QR code within the Healthy Teresa fan page. And then there's actually another contest on there. So go to Healthy Teresa's page and go find the contest.
Okay. So while everybody's doing that and not paying attention to me anymore, no, I'm kidding.
No, I'm sorry. I'm taking them right away from you, Jason. They should be able to multitask, these guys.
No, that's fine. While you're doing that, go ahead and hunt down that, see if you can find that QR code real quick. And then what's the instructions once they do find it, Tina?
When they find the QR code on the Healthy Teresa page, to a book, there's a book on the Healthy Teresa page with a QR code on it. Just tell us in the chat that whether you found it or not and where it is, and then there is a QR code front and center that we're going to tell you about. I'm going to put the link in here. Never mind, we got the first winner. Kurt, you won. Sorry guys, it's Kurt Gurmand and the recipe book. Just like Jason said, the recipe book has a QR code right front and center, and as soon as it's up on Kindle, you're going to see that QR code in action.
Yeah,
Good
and in
job.
your case, Tina, what does that QR code do if somebody would scan it?
It goes to the Facebook page that we created on Friday, to the Gluten-Free Chef Facebook page.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. And so, I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with QR codes at Kindle. One of my favorite is to do what Tina just did with the contest, where we say, hey, this is a QR code right in the ebook. Scan it, and you can enter this contest. Okay? In addition, we say, also when you scan this, you're gonna be be added to our newsletter where we're going to make updates to this book and let you know about them via text message. You see what we're doing there, Tina?
Yep, exactly.
We are getting people to be involved in a contest as a bribe. That's how we reach them, to convert them to scan the QR code, and we give them instructions on how to scan it. And then once they do that, we also say, in addition, you're going to be added to our newsletter, and we'll let you know if we ever update this book or any other really important stuff that you should know about related to this topic. And we're using Kindle to build our text messaging list, which, Kindle's a wonderful platform. The problem is Amazon does not let you get any of the buyer leads. They don't say, like, here's the list of buyers, okay? But what do you suppose our conversion rate is on getting a buyer's list from Kindle, from people doing exactly what I just said, where we say, here's a contest to win something, scan this, and you'll also be added to this text messaging list with updates, okay? You usually get about a 75% opt-in rate. That's pretty good. It's way better than saying, go here and sign up via this email, because that's not 2.0 social media stuff. That's web, internet 1.0 stuff. Doesn't work as effectively. All right? Let's talk about a couple other strategies. QR code strategies. Tina and I love doing this. Some local businesses do attempt to use QR codes. Like, for example, on the front of one of these yellow page books that people send me, I think this might be the Dex one, or I don't know, but they have a QR code right on the front cover of the yellow page book. And I said, ooh. So this person is advertising on Yellow Pages, and this business has a QR code. Let me scan it and see what happens. Okay? Now, why do I scan every single QR code I see from a local advertisement? That's an excellent question. Okay? Here's why. Because 90% of the time, that QR code takes me to their website. And 90% of the time, it takes me to a website that looks something like these two. They're not mobile optimized. Okay? They're not optimized, period. But they're definitely not mobile optimized. So it's funny, they're trying to use mobile marketing. Every single person who scans that QR code is going to be looking at their website on a mobile device, and this is what they're giving them. My favorite kind of people to call up and say, hey, let's talk. Okay? I'm looking as I flip through my Yellow Pages right now, and I see this ad by Colony Heating and Air Conditioning. colonyheating.com, and they have a QR code in their Yellow Page ad. So this is our geothermal expert, and this is literally on the fly. Oh man, my phone's almost going to die. But I'm going to pop on my phone right now and go to colonyheating.com, which is where the QR code takes me, and we will see if I'm going to see just on my phone. I'm holding it now, so you won't be able to see it on your screen. But you can go to colonyheating.com. And somebody tells me what they see when they go there from this QR code. Okay, colonyheating.com on your mobile device. You might have got what I got, which is a bad request, and that's it. It just says bad request, invalid host name. Nothing. So here they are advertising a QR code that, when scanned, takes us to the website, which says bad request. Is this not the ideal client? Now, how many different people can I find with QR codes with a cursory glance through the Yellow Pages, through the local newspapers, on television when they're advertising, via their websites? You can find a bunch. Find them all the time. Okay? So I scan every single QR code I see, and I look at them, and if they have a very poor mobile website that we take them to, I call them and tell them, hey, I love the fact you guys are using QR codes. You get it. You're smart. You're savvy. I like people like you. However, I don't think you realize the full ramifications of what QR codes do, because let me show you something. This is what's happening when people are using your QR code. And what message is this sending to your customers? Wouldn't instead you like something that would look like this if they scan the QR code. Can you see what the difference would be? Yeah, it's not quality heating, David. It was colony, C-O-L-O-N-Y, right? Okay, you just show them that. And they'll be like, huh, interesting.
Hey, Jason, can I make a quick comment for you?
Please do.
Maria and I, as many of you guys know, have been traveling a lot lately, doing these speaking giggies, and Southwest is the air flight place of whatever our choice here, and they have something called Spirit Magazine. For those of you who are with Maria, myself, and Jason popped in to really help us out on Saturday in our VIP Mobile Club live call, we showed at the end of it real live QR codes right from the Spirit Magazine that we scanned in prior to the call. Maria and I literally entertained ourselves on our flights from like Florida to California, scanning those QR codes in that magazine to see how many clients we could pick up. Because so many of them either did exactly what Jason just showed, went to a broken link, or went somewhere where they shouldn't be going. And we were like making lists of like literally we could have had 10 clients if we got off the plane and started making calls to show people, you know, how much of a better job they could do. They're
This is an example of when people try to adapt technology because they see the benefit in it, but they don't do anything other than say, well, I got it, now I'm done with it, right? They don't look and see what it does, like QR codes. And just to clarify for people, some people did type in colonyheating.com, like I said, and actually got something on their mobile device, which, by the way, looks ugly as hell and is not mobile optimized. That's not my point. My point is when you scanned the QR code, it took you to HTTP without the www, which was a bad request, and which is funny because it's so easy to have both the www and the HTTP go to the same place. I mean, WordPress does it for you automatically, but I'm just saying, you scan the QR codes, and when something happens that's wonky, you let the person know. And do you have to be a super salesperson to get them interested in wanting to pay you some money to do something for them? And the answer is no. You don't even need any sales training. You say, you see what's going on here? But what if it looked like this? You show them a mobile optimized site, or even just a picture like the ones you see on your screen. Wouldn't you like that? Well, yes, I would. Okay, well, maybe we can work together to make that happen. Done. I'll talk quickly about a couple of more QR code strategies, and I'm going to switch gears. Okay, QR codes are great for print, and that's predominantly whatever they're used for. We have a really good real estate agent who puts a giant QR code on his sign that he lists outside of a new property that he has. Big old QR code. And when somebody drives by it, they can scan it, and they can take a virtual house tour, similar to what you see over here on the Iowa Realty mobile website that I designed. Is you could take the virtual house tour. So they go by, they see it, they scan it. Remember, the average person who scans a QR code has an annual worth of over $100,000. And they scan the thing, and then they can take the virtual tour. The problem with that is he would have to create a new sign for each printed QR code because he couldn't change the QR code's destination. Or could he? You can with the right type of affiliate URL redirect or the right type of link cloaker. So, for example, there's some other ones that do this out there, but like with Easy Redirect Script, if we wanted to, we could do something like this to where we would just be like, all right, I'm going to make me a new link here. So we could have the link take us to, like, say, redirect name could be like our house. Okay, and the URL could take them to wherever you set it up, m.example.com, wherever that virtual house is. You create the redirect. There's the QR code, right? Good. So when this house is done and it's sold and it's listed, then we could then we could go back to that redirect, and so we got the next house, and we just click edit. Okay? And then we could change it from m.example.com to mexample2newhouse.com, or wherever the destination would take them. Same QR code, new place that it takes them, though. This is called QR code redirecting. Almost nobody thinks about it. Nobody realizes it. Nobody does it. But almost every single URL that you want to do should be a redirect through a QR code if you're doing QR codes that scan and take people to websites.
You know what, Jason? I can't tell you how important. First of all, Karen B says, how permanent is QR codes? Can you use them for a long time? Will they still work in 3, 6, or 6 months or of the year? And then Kendrick answers, ERS to the rescue. Honestly, ERS to the rescue, even for me, guys. As you guys saw on Friday that we had actually had a different Facebook page for that QR code that's on the Confessions of the Gluten-Free Chef cookbook. We decided to change the name of the Facebook page and create that one new that you saw on Friday, ERS to the rescue, because that is exactly how I changed it. I did exactly what Jason did, popped in, and in a heartbeat, that QR code is redirected to the right place. So, Karen, the answer is indefinitely if you're using the proper tools. And yes, ERS to the rescue. Kendrick, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we're not the only tool, obviously. There's a few others, not a lot, but it's something you want to consider when using QR codes. Let me give a couple quick QR code strategies before we move on. One of my favorites is you create a QR code, and you saw how quickly it took me to create QR codes earlier. What are we talking, a couple seconds here? You just would put in whatever you wanted to do. So if we were going to do a URL, generate QR code, URL done, right? You take this, you print it off of your just computer, right? You walk into a business and say, I made a QR code for you. That's it. That's your whole sales pitch, okay? So if I want to get a client, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their URLs, list a whole bunch of different URLs, and make a whole bunch of different QR codes really quickly, right? When I'm done, I'm going to walk into each of these businesses and say, hey, I made a QR code for you, and just hand it to them. And I say nothing else. What do you suppose happens?
Jason, that's huge. Like it's like just shut up and stick to the script you just put on there, and people will be able to make a lot of money. I just have to just saying.
That's all we say. I made a QR code for you. Okay, this is typically the response you'll get. Can you say nothing after that? Okay? This is typically the response you'll get. A, if they know what a QR code is, which actually a lot more business owners do than your average population, they'll say, well, what does it do? And they'll say, well, check this out. And you pull out your phone and you hand it to them. You hand them your phone with your app already opened up, and you say, take a picture of this. And they do it, click, and you say, what happens? And they say, well, it just opened up my website. You say, interesting. Huh, that's interesting, right? Here, you can have this QR code. You can keep it, and you can show your customers what it does. And they'll be like, okay. They'll be like, oh, and by the way, if you want to know anything more about QR codes or other really cool stuff that could help your business, let me know. I'll see you later. They usually say, well, wait a second. Hold on, buddy. Come back here. Let's talk. That's the approach, though. Very low-key, very simple way. I made a QR code for you. You can have it. Blows their mind.
Jason, we have Paul Guthrow in the chat saying, did it Friday, made 3K. Paul,
Jesus.
you rock.
It's funny because sometimes we overcomplicate things, but for most businesses it blows their mind. And so typically the campaigns that I'll do and get paid for QR codes is we just print a giant QR code poster. And it says, scan this QR code to get a coupon. And then underneath that it says, you will also be added into our preferred members text messaging club or whatever other service that we're going to tie them to for an autoresponder. And that's it, okay? But we also, you might want to put in the note there that says, hey, if you're unsure about what this is or want to get the coupon, talk to one of our employees, talk to the receptionist, talk to whoever, ask somebody, okay? And then typically they'll say, oh, yeah, this is what would happen, okay? You would scan this and it would add you to that. If you don't know how to do this or if you don't have this phone, though, what's your email address? And I'll email it to you. And then you can add them to an email list. That's the same thing, okay? But, yeah, the old QR code that you can use for local business is one of many strategies. QR code contest, we talked about that earlier.
Hey, Jason?
Yep.
Sorry to bother you, but this is an important announcement, so I want to make sure everyone understands the value of the packages that you're giving to all the challengers. Andy's asking, if we purchased Jason's Pro package last week, is this included?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. Thank you. And everyone, if you haven't got it yet, it's that Ultimate Social Challenge.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later. Yep. So QR code contests, we talked about QR code coffee shops. I like to just show them. See what happens if you scan this QR code. In this case, I made this for you. Scan it, and then they scanned it, and it would say, if I put in your username and password here, it would allow people to automatically connect to your Wi-Fi without you having to hand over these scraps of paper. QR real estate agents, as we talked about, putting QR codes in your YouTube videos. Typically what you'll do is you'll write a description of your YouTube video that says, I hit, let's play Where's Waldo. This is a good description for you to model yours after. In the description of your YouTube videos, you write, let's play Where's Waldo. If you find a QR code that's hidden on it, scan it, and you can win blank, right? And now all of a sudden people are watching your YouTube videos with an eye that they previously never had because you put a QR code somewhere in the video. By the way, what can you put QR codes on just before we wrap it up? The answer is pretty much everything, okay? Put them on T-shirts. You can get them tattooed on your body. You could print them. You can put them on websites. You can put them in videos. You can do whatever you want with them. And for the most part, everybody can read them. Now with that said, let's switch gears. So let me blow your mind in a completely different fashion that might even be more powerful and easier for you to understand. Here's another technique that you can wrap around everything that you've learned so far and everything you will learn in the social media challenge. I call it the digital network. Here's a thought. Okay, social sites are social, right? So why don't we use the social component of social sites as much as possible to our advantage? So we're going to play into that. And just to preface this, before we dig any further, here's what happened to me last week. And it happened to Maria and Tina too. In fact, Maria and Tina were the ones who told me about it. But basically, some guy who has really no following, no name, nobody really knows him from Adam, has in 1 week added about 1,000 people to his email list and his Facebook group. And these aren't your ordinary Joes and Janes. Each one of these people, almost all of them, have an email list and a really strong social presence. And every single time he emails me from that email list, I open and read it. And this is a guy I did not know nothing about 1 week earlier. He gets it. He's smart. It's a very smart method that I've used before. Here's how he did it. He created a networking group on Facebook via private invitation only. He basically created this little group that says, hey, we're all going to get together, and because we're going to all be part of this group, this is how everybody in the group is going to benefit. So he created some sort of value proposition. And we'll talk a little bit about that here shortly. Okay, he created a value proposition that says, you want to be in this group because blank. And to seed that group initially, he created a personal video for 160 different tastemakers in his industry. Does that sound like a lot of work? Yeah. Is it worth it? Yeah. So he basically shot a little talking head video and said, hey, Maria, I would love for you to join this group. I think it's going to help you get a lot more joint venture partners and people promoting your products. And go here to join and do this. Then he'd create another video, and he'd send it out to somebody else. Hey, Jason Fladlin, and maybe mention something personally about me. I loved how your beard was the size of its own planet earlier this year. Anyway, I love what you do, and I think this group I'm creating, I'd love for you to be a part of it. I think it'll help you get more customers. Go here to check it out. So he created 160 of these videos and sent them out. Did it all in a week, okay? And part of his condition is joining his group is you have to stay on his email list. Otherwise, you're removed from the group, the Facebook group. This is brilliant, okay? Now let me make it even more brilliant for you to use and immediately profit from, okay? Take this to the local level. My preferred method of doing this is with LinkedIn, but you can do this with Facebook groups as well. It doesn't matter, whatever you're comfortable with. And little birdie told me that Tina has something up her sleeve for you for LinkedIn coming up, okay? But you can create a group on LinkedIn. So you can create a LinkedIn group. And if you're not familiar with what a LinkedIn group is, I can show that to you really quickly. If I go to LinkedIn here. And what's your group name?
Ultimate Social Media Challenge.
Okay, for some reason my LinkedIn profile password isn't here anymore, so I don't know if I could search for the groups because I'm not logged in as a member.
That's right. And before any of you guys get crazy, we haven't sent you the link to the new LinkedIn group yet because we have a special strategy a la Jason Fladling style that we're adding to it as we speak. So guys, so don't freak out that you can't find it yet.
So yeah, I can't get in, which is unfortunate because I just updated my RoboForm and I don't have my credentials for the LinkedIn to log in. But if I logged in, I could search for groups and I could find their group or any other group that I'm connected with at some sort of level. And what would happen is if I join that group, I will get an immediate email from that group. The default email response is when somebody joins that group, right? And so if I join their group, I don't know, what is your default message that you send out right now?
That's what we were just crafting that, making sure that they can get into their members area, know where their bonuses are, and to stay tuned for more important announcements coming.
Right. So if you join Tina and Maria's LinkedIn group, it would say, hey, thanks for joining. If you don't know your username and password for this social media challenge, as a member, go here to get it, and this is what's going to be happening. Okay? So immediately you can send an autoresponder, automatic message reply to anybody who joins your LinkedIn group. Additionally to that, once a week, you can send out a mass email to everybody in the group. And LinkedIn emails are like Facebook emails. Okay? People use their best email address typically for their LinkedIn profile, and that's the email that it gets sent to. And then in addition to that, if you direct message any one person, that will also give them like an email notification similar to Facebook. So I like to use Facebook or LinkedIn groups for networking, although if you're more comfortable with Facebook groups, use those. It doesn't matter. The strategy is more important than what you use. All right? So here's the strategy. You're going to create a group around a local business mastermind, where members share ideas about how they can get more customers, network with each other, refer business to each other, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So this is your value proposition. You're going to create a local group, and the way you're going to get people to join is you're going to have the top producers in all these different fields who are going to get together, share ideas, refer business to each other, and generally help each other out and create this awesome local business mastermind group. Okay? Now, the catch is it's exclusive. Everybody who joins your group, one service provider per category. Who are you? You are the hub which connects them all together. You're the local top advisor for online and social media marketing. So you're in there, and you have all the other top ones in the local business area around there. So this is, amongst other fields, because I said one per industry, these are fields that you should focus on getting the top person in first into your networking group. Okay, you want one accountant, you want various lawyers, at least one corporate lawyer though. Okay, you want a print shop in there, you want a commercial real estate agent in there, you want an office supplier in there, and you want an insurance agent in there. By the way, what do all of those things have in common? An accountant, a lawyer, a print shop, a commercial real estate agent, an office supplier, an insurance agent. They're all what? Besides service providers. Yeah, they're business to business. Every single one of these are business to business. So an accountant typically has a reach of about 130 local businesses that they work with. Okay? A lawyer works with lots of local businesses. Print shops do massive work for local businesses. Commercial real estate agents are building commercial properties, which are businesses. Office suppliers typically supply businesses. Insurance agents provide insurance for businesses. Yeah, these are all what are called centers of influence. So your networking group has the following, which is good for you, because you're controlling the people who control the business owners, right? All right? Now it's going to get better. All right, so how do you find these people? How do you get an accountant to join, a local accountant to join your local masterminding group? Here's what you do. To find your accountant, you start off contacting lawyers, print shops, commercial real estate agents, office suppliers, and insurance agents via LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media tool that you wish to. And you contact them basically with this line. You say, hey, I'm putting together a local business think tank with the main service being to help all members grow their business significantly in the next 12 months. I want to have the best accountant on our advisory board. Do you have an accountant? And if so, would you recommend them? All right, now let's take it one step further. Not only do you do this for the accountants, but when you're done with that, you do it for the lawyers, you do it for everybody else, right? Now, if people respond back and say, well, no, I either don't have an accountant or, well, I have an accountant, but he's really not somebody I would say would be the top one. What do you suppose that you do? Here's what you do. Two things. First, you follow up and ask them, say, hey, once I do locate the best accountant in our area, would it be okay for me to pass the information along to you and connect the two of you? At the same time, once you find the best accountant, you say, hey, check this out. I've done my legwork, and out of everybody that I asked, your name came up more than anybody as the best. And that's great because I'm looking for the best industry leaders in our local business because I'm creating this local industry think tank. And to show you why I mean business, here's the deal. I already have these people over here who are interested in finding a new accountant. And they said it'd be okay to put you in touch with them. So this is the kind of stuff that we have going on in our group that I want you to be a part of. So you can contact these people via Facebook, via Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also have people, you create the logo for the group, and you'll see Maria and Tina do this, and you have members pin the logo on Pinterest and repin it. Proud member of the Sarasota Springs, local business strategy advisory board. Now that you have this hub, which you are the center, you are the king of kings, you control the people who control the local businesses, here's what you do. If you did this via LinkedIn, each week you send out a newsletter. Because once a week you can mass email everybody in the LinkedIn group. And each week you highlight a key strategy that can help them grow their business. So this week you might be talking about how to use QR codes, because you just learned them from me. Next week you might be talking about a specific Facebook thing. A week after that, a specific mobile thing, a text messaging thing, et cetera, okay? All you have to do is say, hey, if you like this and want to know more, contact me. And we'll go from there. And then your best prospects will automatically contact you within the group. And now you have a leverage to contact any new local business that you want. You say, hey, I approached you because this guy, I'm friends with this guy. This guy's on my advisory board. He said I should be in contact with you because they'll refer you. Or you can just say, hey, I know the best accountant, the best lawyer, the best whatever. Would you like to know this information? Well, you and I should talk. Okay? You have a force which is unstoppable. And you use all you use is a little bit of social media to build your network. Something that in the past would have taken you painstaking effort to do, because you would have had to find a meeting room. You would have had to book the meeting room. You would have had to get people into the meeting room. You would have had to do all this face-to-face, nose-to-nose, toes-to-toes. Now you can do 100% of it from the comfort of your own home via sending messages over LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter with social media. It's infinitely easier, which is funny because so few people are doing it, because they never have thought of it. They never have thought to the level that we have thought and done, and now you can do that. All right? Just to wrap this up, because we're almost done here, mobile, just keep this in mind. Roughly half of people at any given time on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are on a mobile device. And there are ways that we should take that into account when we do some marketing. So let me run a scenario by you. Paid advertising on Facebook. So there's a new campaign I set up, and you can see it right here. Iowa chiropractors. You need to get mobile now. Text HI to this phone number for tips from social media expert. That's the ad. Okay? Look at how much it would cost me per click to run this ad. $4.07, which is pretty good. That's my birthday, 4/7, April 7th. $4.07. Is that a lot to pay for a click? People are saying yes. It's not, by the way. It's a damn good deal. Because look who I'm targeting, my audience. People who live in Iowa, who graduated from college, who majored in dentistry. I mean, and actually, this should say Iowa dentist. I'm sorry, I forgot. I got the two mixed up. So this, that's funny. Oh man, got the two ads mixed up. That's what happens when I write this ad 10 minutes before we do the webinar. But if I did it correctly, it would say who majored in dentistry, and this would say Iowa dentist. And I'm only targeting 300 people in the state of Iowa. Okay. So I'll pay $4 to target every single person on Facebook who's a dentist.
Jason, that's huge. I mean, everyone's just going, oh my God, throughout this whole thing. Powerful,
right.
Powerful. And, I'd pay that any day. I'd go up to $10 easily per click. I mean,
easily. Now, here's the thing. Most of my audience who all win, most of the people I'll get for clients, I'll pay $0 per click. And here's why. Because they won't even click on the ad. Instead, they'll text hi to this number, and I'll add them to a text message list. Now, interesting, does Facebook allow you to do that in their advertisement?
Depends on who looks at the thousands of people that review your ads.
That's the answer. Okay, there's nowhere that explicitly states in their guidelines that you can't do that. Unlike they explicitly state you can't say something like click here now. You can't do that, right? And there's certain other things that you can't do that are explicitly stated in their advertising guidelines of policies. One of the things that is not explicitly stated is, can you put a call to action to a phone number with a text hi? Okay? So my answer to this is the answer to with any paid advertising where you have human people reviewing it, is sometimes they'll approve it and sometimes they won't approve it. Big deal, okay? So if they don't approve it, we tweak one word and submit it again, okay? And by the way, you could do this with a QR code as well. You put a QR code for your image for your Facebook ad. So if they click on the thing, great, I'll take them to a website. Actually, I'll take them to a fan page, okay? If they don't click on it, they text me, I have them on a text message list, and I have their phone number as well, okay? I'll play this all day, okay? So how many people can we do this for? We can do this over and over and over again, right? This is powerful. Google AdWords, this is what's interesting if you do Google AdWords pay-per-click, which I don't recommend any of you do, but I do recommend you do it for your local clients. On mobile devices now, all Google AdWords ads, if they have phone numbers in them, they're clickable. They're clickable right in the ad itself. Okay? And in most cases, not 90-some% of the time, signing up a new account for Google AdWords will give you a voucher. Okay? $50, $75, $20, $100. It all depends. Depends where you're from, depends on what mood Google's filling in at the time. But almost every time you can get a voucher when you sign up with a new account for Google AdWords. So you're signing a client up, a local business up, for a new account on AdWords, and you can run that ad with a clickable phone number right in that ad, and that will show up on mobile advertisements. Okay? So that's, by the way, that's a great way to get a business started. Working with them to do nothing more but set up and run a free campaign for them. Free to them, free to set up, free You're not going to charge them anything. You're just going to put it up there for them. Good way to break the ice. Okay. You can do this with status updates too, by the way. So, for example, on Facebook, text hi to this phone number to get text notifications whenever we're doing a webinar. That's one of the ways that we use Facebook to build a text message list. You do the same thing on Twitter. Text hi to this number for text reminder before each of our webinars. Never miss one again. By the way, notice on Twitter you can add pics to your status or to your tweets. What do you suppose my pic is? Yeah, it's a QR code. Because 50% of people on, Twitter, they're doubly mobilized. YouTube description. I gave you the QR code one earlier, but here's another one. Text hi to this phone number to see mobile text message marketing in action. So in this case, it's a YouTube video that's talking about mobile chiropractic, and the description isn't a link to a website. It's a link to a text message campaign. It's not a link. It's a text this keyword to this phone number. They're added to a text message list, and anytime I want to contact the whole list, I send out a text message to them. Boom, done. Okay? So in review, reaching them. You can reach them through the paid advertising that we talked about, through networking, through straight-up direct messaging via these social media sites, converting them. We can convert them with text message marketing, scanning QR codes. We can convert them by saying, hey, I'll give you good information in our LinkedIn once-a-week newsletter, whatever. I'll give you access to the top advisory board, et cetera, et cetera. Keeping them. We keep them through continual communication through social media. Once they're in our LinkedIn group, they're in there. Once they're on the text messaging list, we can continually, frequently contact them. Once they're on our Facebook as friends, we can continually stay in touch with them. So, to summarize it all up, and then I'll answer some questions specifically related to what we talked about today, is I just want to highlight one fact very quickly, that the Ultimate Social Challenge Special.com is expiring relatively soon, but we did put together some wonderful bonuses, or wonderful packages for people that are just available to social media, social challenge members. Just want to highlight a couple things really quickly. QR Champ. So if you want to know the QR code generator I was using today, and also our report that details even more detailed on how to make money with QR codes, that's right here. Easy Redirect script, which we use to redirect QR codes, is right here. Fan Pro, obviously what you build your fan pages with. Pin Pro, which we talked about, pinning logos and stuff, that works with fan pages or any image, for example. Pinning with Twitter, by the way, is hot. Text Pro, this is what can do the text messaging campaigns that we talked about, like text hi to this phone number. Mobile Pro would build the mobile websites. And WP Twin can back up and clone either the mobile websites, the fan pages, or anything that you build with a blog. So those are just the packages. They're very synergistic with what we talked about today. The offer does expire in a couple days. Just wanted to make sure you were aware of those when deciding which package makes the most sense for you if you were considering investing in a package. So that's my soft pitch to the special offer that we have. Tina and Maria, if people are popping in with some questions related to either what we talked about today, related to social media in general that I can answer, or if they want to know more about some of the packaging specifics with that, I'd be happy to answer any and all those things.
We have a ton of questions, and Maria, before we actually go in and get some of the questions here, let's talk about how we're going to give away that $200 package that you have. Is that okay?
Yeah, and then we'll fire out other questions, a lot of questions. We want to give away the Dr. Dre Beats, the fabulous high-resolution in-ear headphones that include inline mic, $200 it's worth, or you can get $200 cash value. And we decided, all of you that are live today, and all of you that do come live at 8 p.m., so this will be repeated at 8 p.m., we will then do a random drawing of the peeps. But here's what you got to do. You actually have to take action and do something. You actually have to, Tina, correct me if I'm wrong, like a certain page, correct?
Well, what you have to do, guys, is you have to go to facebook.com, Maria and Tina, facebook.com/Maria and Tina, And the post that is there that is highlighted, and if you guys remember from all of our Facebook training, the one that's highlighted, big fat front and center, has something that we've been talking about on it this whole webinar. You actually have to scan it and go take action. And as you see, the comments here and the comments after you've taken action, we're going to take those people, put them, and randomly select from the people who have taken action. So there's going to be a lot of you who aren't going to do it, but there's going to be a lot of you with an opportunity to win. Looks like a lot of people already started. You guys beat us to the punch there. Suzette DeJarge, you rock. So Maria, that's not too tough of a contest, huh? What do you think? Do you think I can handle that? Go ahead, Maria.
Well, can I add one more thing? That essentially, you don't want me to tell them the second step? Because we don't have a QR code reader. Okay, thanks. Here's the deal. We need you to like the Healthy Teresa page, because that's where that QR code goes to. So you kind of see our process, because I want to, teach that aspect to all of you. So I'm going to type in that Facebook URL as well. And so we're going to do a random drawing of all the people that have liked Healthy Teresa. Okay, so that's at facebook.com, and I'm typing that in, that's why you hear the loud-ass typing. Healthy Teresa. If you all like that, if you haven't yet, then go like it. And then we'll do a random drawing tomorrow. We will announce the winner by email and also on the 1 p.m. Q&A call tomorrow. It's just Q&A. It's no training, no PowerPoint, just answering your questions that you might have from today or the last prior week. Go ahead and like it, and then we will randomly draw one of the individuals, and you can win. So way better opportunities than a lottery opportunity. So, but back to the questions. There are a lot of questions about the packages, and I just want to point this out because a lot of this come in. When is WP Pin Pro going to be ready, blah, blah, blah. When it's ready, it'll be like $47 if I recall, Jason, right? Just as long. Where's Maria going with this?
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Pin Pro's ready to use. You can use it anytime you want to use it. People can't buy it outside of these packages as of now, though.
Bingo. And what we're trying to do, Jason and I and Wilson and Tina were talking at the end of last week because we're looking at the majority of your questions, and we couldn't understand. I'll just say it out loud to y'all. But the package that's $97 there actually includes WP Pin Pro and includes so many other software packages. I don't know if you want to go back to that, ultimatesocialchallengespecial.com, Jason. Look at everything it includes. So even if you already have Fan Pro and you go, yeah, but I just want to buy Pin Pro, the thing is, you're going to have to pay when it is available, $50, right? You're going to have to pay for that anyway and only get 25 licenses. So why wouldn't you get the $97? If you just look at the math there, it's a way better deal. Because trust me.
Well, and Maria, just want to stress, these licenses are additive. So say you already have 50 licenses of Fan Pro, then if you bought this package, you would now automatically have 100 licenses. It would just add to your existing licenses of Fan Pro.
Yeah, and that's sort of huge because that's what we're trying to say. A lot of people, yeah, exactly. Christopher's saying $97 is a small price to pay. And so that's why I wanted to point out, because some of you were like, well, I have some of these other ones already. I just want this. I'm thinking, well, yeah, but if you look at the math, you're still getting a better deal. And Tina and I worked hard.
I mean, if you really just want Pin Pro, you can wait. And I think in a week or two or maybe 3, I don't know when, we'll have it out and released. We just don't have anything set up that we can retail it now outside of the packages.
Yeah, exactly. So if you kind of just look at the math here, you can make your ultimate decision on this, which is the better deal. And Jason, as far as the last question here, a lot of questions on the packages. I don't want to spend too much time. I want to get back to training and education for y'all. But there was a question again around the themes. There seems to be a predominant question around the Sublime theme versus...
Oh, yeah. I'll clear that up again one more time. So... personal means only websites that you own, and Sublime in this case means on the Mobile Pro website you could see the different themes in action. And Sublime is this theme right here, Sublime theme. So you can color customize and stuff, but this is the basic layout of it. So the regular package, the Pro package, allows Mobile Pro Sublime themes, so mobile websites you can build for yourself. any website you own, and you get one mobile theme. If you got the ultimate package, you get the developer's license, meaning you can build them for clients, and you get all, I believe there are 9 themes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 themes. Correct. Yep. So that's the main distinction between those two.
Awesome, awesome. And Tina, do you see anything specific around the training and stuff for today?
Yeah, let me go back to it. I was just answering some questions, a lot of questions on the various different packages. Let's see. I don't know, Jason, how much you want to go into the upgrading or anything like that, or how much you want to do as far as talking about the packages. Still a lot of questions on that in particular.
Well, I'll talk about the packages all day if they want me to.
Yeah, it seems a lot of the questions are coming in. I'm looking. I was like, there are a lot of questions on the
But,
on the
I want to make sure that we also
do?
focus on the training as well, so.
Yeah, well, if you could answer that was one of the biggest questions. If they don't get it now, or if they start at the 97 about the upgrading issue.
I do not have a definite answer on the upgrading. I know initially the way that we built these would make it very, very hard to upgrade them. And so I don't think we initially had an upgrading option unless we'll change the policy, because I know that they were working on some stuff this weekend. I do or do not know about the upgrading stuff. So that would be something that they'd have to write into support to find out, because I personally don't know the answer to it. But like I said on the training Friday, you can't go wrong with whatever package you pick. And indecision is the enemy of profit. So, just pick something and go with it. I mean, you can't go wrong, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, and when we alternate one training question, one package question, one's about, does all this local stuff will work if I'm in a different country?
For the most part, yes. There are exceptions, like if I was in some country that was like a communistic country that would not allow me to do anything legally, then this would not work, obviously. But if that's the case, I doubt you're on this call. I doubt you'd be able to get on this call if you were in such a country. Most other countries, this works fantastic. Believe it or not, when it comes to mobile, U.S. is one of the harder, relatively, so to speak, quote-unquote harder countries to sell mobile in. And that's because U.S. is way behind the rest of the world when it comes to mobile marketing, as ridiculous as that is. And so like Europe, the Europe area, Australia, those are actually even more hotbeds for this type of marketing, what I've shared. But, U.S. is obviously massively profitable as well, as you can see, because what Tina and Maria do with it. And so, yeah, I mean, it works all around. But let me just tell you this. We have people in our groups, clients of ours, who have never set foot inside the U.S., have never even traveled outside of their native country, who have clients in the U.S. using the strategies that we've taught. So you do not have to necessarily be local. Now, in some instances, I gave you the example of if you were just down the street, you can go in here and do this. But it's not required. And I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like that. And Pawn's saying, as a marketer, most special deals are hours or days. You offered so many days. Just tell me this is a steal because there's no upgrades or downgrades for it. It's equal to WP Fan Pro and double the license. Come on already, people. Please do not. Oh, okay. Pawn's going to kill me for saying what I said. But basically, what some people are saying is that the package deals are amazing and crazy not to get it, essentially. So,
well, I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time working with Jason Wilson to put those packages together for y'all. Let's get back to another question.
Patty Malone has a great question, and I can answer this one, and Jason, definitely, if you want to throw this in, because I think this is a great question. When it comes to QR Champ particularly, would you recommend using QR codes as a small profile picture? And Patty, I'm going to guess you're asking like if you're going to use it on Facebook. If you're using it, as far as I'm concerned, a QR code could absolutely be used in the profile pic on your business page, and with something on there that tentatively even says, click me to make me bigger or anything like that, any type of call to action, because when you click on that profile picture, it will get bigger on the screen for them. So I would say definitely, but Jason, I know the difference between how I use QR Champ Champ and ERS Redirect also has the ability to make a QR code too. What is the difference between the QR code that is created with QR Champ as opposed to the one that is with ERS?
The difference is the ERS one is just for links,
Mm-hmm.
and the QR code creator is for other things besides links to URLs. That's the main difference.
Okay. Now, I use QR code Champ, and I create my QR codes there, then take the link that's created from there and put it into ERS Redirect.
Yes, so you could do that as well, correct.
Yes, that's how I use it, so that I can always change it up and I get the good quality link and with all the fun stuff in it that Jason just showed before in QR code Champ, and then I use them in conjunction. That's why when Jason and Wilson put those two tools together in the package, I thought that was invaluable because I use those two together all the time. So Maria, is there another
there's something I wanted to share with people as far as what you were talking about. This is the cover image, right? And this is what's called, I can never get the terminology right, the featured image, or what is
profile
it?
Image.
Profile image, correct, yeah. So what you can do on your profile image is notice how this has stuff like click to success or, get started here on Healthy Teresa's page, okay? One of the techniques we found that works good is QR code with a message that says underneath it, do you know what this is? Question mark, okay? People who know what it is are going to scan it. People who don't know what it is are going to write on your wall, what is that? Question mark, right? And then you can explain it to them, and you have that social engagement. So that's a nice little thing. But yeah, we use QR codes for the profile image. Is that what it's called?
Yep, the profile image. Absolutely,
yeah,
that's a great
terminology. Spot. It used to be featured image before they changed it.
Can I tell you? And they keep coming up with their own language. But Jason, what you showed there is what my point was with Patty. Is when you did click on it, did you guys see how it got big? Facebook, it opens up. So if you click on that, see? So those people who are like, oh, when it says click or to find out more or anything like that, if that is a QR code there, it's going to make it size up so that it's not a tiny little profile image anymore. And that is what shows up in your Facebook. That's the little profile image that shows up all over the place when you do make comments or you share on other people's walls. So that is just an awesome strategy, guys.
Yeah, see how when she posts something, it shows up there as well, the image? Shows up everywhere.
Yep. Perfect. So just imagine if you had a QR code there and you were really out there doing the mobile thing and hooking it up with text messaging and mobile sites and then wrapping it all around social syndication. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, this is awesome. Christopher's saying, can we get a copy of the Rosetta Stone so we can speak Facebook? I love that comment.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Well, really, this is just amazing feedback, tons of questions. Really, we have tomorrow's 1 p.m. for questions, and in respect for Jason's time as well. And I know we wanted all of you to be here on training to maximize your time for an hour and a half max. If you guys are okay with us kind of finishing, maybe address 2 or 3 more questions. That's it, so we can all go. Everyone says love you, Jason.
Thanks.
Yeah,
well, Maria, let's just let these guys know guys, so that you aren't freaking out or overwhelmed, we have tomorrow Q&A as scheduled, and then we are going to be doing an additional bonus call for those of you guys who are on Friday's Facebook 101 call. There were still so many questions on that, particularly on how to add the app tabs. So we are going to be doing a second Facebook 101 and baby steps into 201 call. And during the week, we still have hardcore modules focused on mobile, focused on Pinterest, focused on text messaging, and as you heard Jason talk about LinkedIn, we have some bonus stuff with the social syndication where we're going to talk specifically on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube strategies. And we might have a great guest to help us with the YouTube stuff too. That actually is on this call, but I'm not going to tell you anything else. So guys, we got you covered. We've got you covered, so don't go anywhere. We've got the next 2 weeks, week and a half to give you everything that you need to know. So if your questions don't get answered right now, hang in there. Wow, more questions now.
I love it.
How to create more questions.
Okay, well, it's 1:26. How about this? In my time, let's just go to 1:30, wrap it up.
Okie dokie doc.
Perfect.
Maria, you see a burning question there?
Well, I see one that I love. George is saying, can we still offer the challenge to people as an affiliate? Oh, yeah, baby. We did. We left it up, and it's $37 now for people to get in. It's an evergreen offer. We intend to keep this social challenge evergreen. So, yes. Next question for Jason. Goodness gracious, they're pouring in like crazy.
I like Richie. Stop. I feel like I've robbed you by only paying you $7 for this. Richie, we can give you our PayPal addresses. Jason, pop yours in there, dude.
Azu's got a great question. Jason, LinkedIn Mastermind Group. Do we ask local businesses to stay on the LinkedIn group and or email list? Which platform do you send messages to?
What you do is, and I wish I could just demo it for you, but I don't have my password handily without spending 10 minutes finding it. What you do is you basically you log into Facebook, or I mean into LinkedIn, you click the group, and then it'll have like send email out. So just like how Facebook, when you go to send out a message, like a status update or whatever, you can do the same through LinkedIn, only it's just like they have their own little email client that you send it through, and then it lands in everybody's inbox that's part of your group. So it's like having an autoresponder sequence or like the ability to send out mass emails, but you do it right inside LinkedIn itself. It's beautiful. And it comes from LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's great strategy.
That's why I like using LinkedIn for that, because it has so much credibility as opposed to like it's coming from Jason Fladlin, you know?
Yeah, and that's a great strategy. And with LinkedIn, guys, there's no reason why you also can't multi-purpose, because I know Jason's a big advocate of having people on multiple different platforms. Even in your welcome message, you can actually say, and get your free report here, and have them added to a unique autoresponder list too, so that just in case for any reason your group gets taken down, because remember, we talked about this before, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, they are third-party platforms. But that is a little bit of an advanced strategy, but you could actually multiply.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you want them on multiple integrations. You want them on your email list, your text message list. You want them on your LinkedIn following. You want them in a Facebook group.
Exactly.
You basically want them to have to ask you permission before they get up and go to the bathroom.
And I'm a control freak. Can you tell, Jason? I want them on my list. I want them on my list. I'm a control freak, guys. I like to own it, you know. No handcuffs for me, baby. You know, I don't like to be handcuffed by these third parties. I love to use them, but I don't want to be handcuffed by them. So, yeah, we'll talk about these strategies when we're talking social syndication.
I'm dying to answer this question myself. I just got to talk. Sorry.
Go for it, Maria.
This is my third posting. Will this work in Asia, like Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines? Have prospects there? I appreciate responses. Alma, absolutely. In fact, we have a delegate in our $10,000 Black Label program who's in Singapore who is just kicking butt on getting clients there and doing fantastic. So definitely, we have clients in that area or students that are doing really well. In fact, mobile's hot in that area.
Yeah,
as well.
Singapore and Malaysia are hotbeds for mobile specifically. When it comes to mobile, those two are hot. Philippines would be very tough. I wouldn't try to do it in the Philippines, although you probably could. But, man, Malaysia and Singapore would just be, oh, so fun.
Yeah, no kidding. And then when are you covering Pinterest, Dennis is asking.
When are we? We are actually. I think I'm going to move Pinterest up in the slate, guys. Mobile is supposed to be on Wednesday, and Pinterest is supposed to be on Friday. But I think I'm going to do move that up and do Pinterest on Wednesday instead, unless you guys have a reason why you wouldn't want us to do that, because basically Jason has particularly covered a lot on mobile and QR codes. But I think we're going to move it up a little bit. So most likely you will see Pinterest Wednesday, mobile Friday, and then on Monday we're going to go hard and heavy into the text messaging because our campaign should be up and ready. Then the following week on Tuesday you're going to have a Q&A call. Technically we are slated to be over, but the games are never over. They've always just begun with us. So the following week you're going to have your bonus calls on social syndication, and we'll really tie this sandbox up. When do you do PLR and affiliate marketing? Oh, I don't know, Hallie. I'll add it to my list. Jason's going to do that. Right, Jason? Keep going. The games never end, guys. The games never ends here. So, guys, it is 2:31. Are you ready to wrap this baby up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. If not now.
When?
All right. We're all DNA coded for
Greatness.
Absolutely, guys. Go make today your